Lesson 1, Hydration Break.
Hey Anna, I've been working hard all morning and I think it's time for a little hydration break. What do you say we both grab a refreshing glass of water?
That's a fantastic idea, John. Staying hydrated is so important, especially when you're putting in long hours. I could definitely use a water break myself.
Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in our work and forget to take care of the basics, like making sure we're drinking enough water.
You're so right. Proper hydration is key for maintaining energy levels and mental focus throughout the day.
Definitely. I find that when I make a conscious effort to sip water regularly, I'm much more productive and alert.
Same here. Even just a quick water break can make a big difference in how I feel. It's like a little reset for both the body and mind.
Exactly. It's amazing the impact something as simple as staying hydrated can have. Alright, shall we head to the kitchen and pour ourselves a nice cold glass?
Absolutely, let's do it. I'll race you there. First one to the water dispenser wins.
You're on. Runs towards the kitchen. Hey, no fair, you got a head start.
Absolutely. Little hydration breaks like this are so underrated. It's like a mini reset to recharge and refocus.
Couldn't agree more. Alright, I'm feeling energized and ready to tackle the rest of the day. Back to work.
Yes, let's do it. Thanks for the water break reminder, John. I'm right behind you, hydrated and motivated.
Anytime, Anna. Staying hydrated is the key to sustaining our productivity. Alright, let's do this.
Lesson 2, Keeping your passport safe while traveling.
Hey Anna, I'm a bit worried about keeping my passport secure during my upcoming trip. Do you have any tips for ensuring it stays safe?
Absolutely, I can definitely share some advice on that. Protecting your passport is so important when traveling.
Great, I'd really appreciate that. I'm a bit nervous about potentially losing it or it getting stolen.
I understand the concern. Losing your passport can be such a hassle and really disrupt your travel plans.
Definitely. What's the best way to keep it safe and secure throughout the trip?
Well, one of the most important things is to keep it in a dedicated travel wallet or pouch that you can wear close to your body.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That way it's not just loose in my bag or pocket.
Exactly. A travel wallet or neck pouch helps prevent it from getting misplaced or taken without your knowledge.
That's a great tip. And are there any other precautions I should take?
Yes, try to avoid taking your passport out unnecessarily. Only have it out when absolutely required, like at border crossings.
Got it, that makes sense. I don't want to be waving it around and drawing attention to it.
Precisely. And when you do need to present it, be discreet and keep a close eye on it.
Good point. I'll be extra vigilant about that. Anything else I should keep in mind?
Let's see. Oh, make sure to make copies of the important pages, just in case. That can really help if it does get lost or stolen.
Ah, yes, the copies are a great backup to have. I'll be sure to do that before I leave.
Wonderful. And keep the copy separately from the actual passport, just to be safe.
Smart, I'll stash them in a different part of my luggage. This is all really helpful advice, Anna.
I'm so glad I could provide some useful tips. Protecting your passport is just so crucial when you're traveling.
Absolutely. I feel much more prepared and confident now about keeping it secure. Thanks so much for taking the time to walk me through this.
Of course, I'm happy I could help put your mind at ease. Just remember, a little proactive planning can go a long way in avoiding passport problems.
You're so right. Alright, I'm feeling good about this now. Time to get that travel wallet ordered.
Excellent. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful, worry-free trip. Let me know if you need any other travel tips.
Will do, thanks again, Anna. Alright, back to trip planning I go.
Lesson 3, Facing the Surrender at Yorktown.
Morning, Anna. I was reading about the famous Battle of Yorktown during the American Revolution. Did you know the British ended up surrendering there?
Really? I don't think I was aware of the full details around the British surrender at Yorktown. Could you tell me more about that?
Absolutely. Apparently, the British commander, General Cornwallis, was facing a massive American and French force, and he realized they had no choice but to surrender.
Wow, the British were outnumbered and outmatched then? I can imagine that must have been a very difficult decision for Cornwallis to make.
Yeah, absolutely. According to the accounts, he tried to delay the inevitable as long as possible, but the American and French troops had them completely surrounded.
I see. So Cornwallis essentially had his back against the wall, with no viable path to victory. Surrendering must have been his only option at that point.
Exactly. He eventually sent one of his officers, a man named Botzler, to meet with the American commander and formally surrender.
Ah, I see. So Botzler was the one who delivered the news of the British surrender to the American side. That must have been a tense and historic moment.
Definitely. The American commander, George Washington, accepted the surrender, effectively ending the major fighting of the Revolutionary War.
Wow, that's just incredible. The Battle of Yorktown must have been a huge turning point then in securing American independence.
Absolutely. It was a massive strategic and morale victory for the Americans and their French allies. The British were essentially defeated at that point.
That's fascinating. I can only imagine the range of emotions on both sides, the American triumph versus the British humiliation of having to surrender.
Yeah, it was undoubtedly a bittersweet moment. But it paved the way for the Americans to ultimately prevail in their fight for independence.
Right, it was a crucial step in that long, hard-fought struggle. What an amazing historical moment to learn about.
Definitely. It's always interesting to dive into the details of these pivotal battles and turning points in history.
I agree completely. Studying events like the Yorktown surrender really gives you a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices and struggles of the past.
Absolutely. Alright, I'm feeling inspired to do some more research on this chapter of the American Revolution. Thanks for the engaging chat, Anna.
Of course, John. I'm always happy to discuss fascinating historical events like this. Looking forward to hearing more about your continued studies.
Wonderful, I'll be sure to share any other interesting insights I uncover. Alright, back to the books for me. Talk to you soon.
Lesson 4: Tackling a manageable DIY project.
Hey Anna, I'm thinking of taking on a small DIY project around the house this weekend. What do you think? Any advice?
That's great, John. DIY projects can be so rewarding. What kind of task did you have in mind?
Well, I was considering refinishing an old piece of furniture, like a dresser or something. Does that sound doable?
Absolutely, that's a perfect beginner-friendly project. Refinishing furniture is a really satisfying DIY to tackle.
Awesome, good to know. I want to make sure it's not going to be too overwhelming, you know?
Definitely, you want to start with something that's considered moderate in difficulty. That way you can complete it in a reasonable time frame.
Exactly, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. A few hours of work is about what I'm aiming for.
That sounds just right. Refinishing a dresser or similar piece of furniture should be very doable in that time frame.
Great, that's a relief to hear. And what are some of the key steps involved in a furniture refinishing project?
Well, the main things are stripping off the old finish, sanding it down, and then applying a new stain or paint.
Okay, that makes sense. Is the stripping and sanding the most time consuming part typically?
Yes, usually the prep work of removing the old finish and getting the surface smooth can take the longest. But with the right tools, it's very manageable.
Good to know. I'll make sure I have all the necessary supplies and equipment lined up beforehand.
Definitely, that preparation will be key. And don't forget the protective gear like gloves and a mask for the sanding.
Ah, yes, good point. Safety first. Alright, this is all super helpful, Anna. I'm feeling really confident about tackling this project now.
Wonderful. I'm glad I could provide some useful guidance. Just take it step by step and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
Absolutely, that's a great tip. I may have to rope you in to lend a hand at some point.
Haha, you got it. I'm always happy to assist with a DIY adventure. Let me know how it goes, I'm rooting for you.
Will do, thanks so much. Alright, time to start planning out this furniture refinishing project.
Sounds good, John. Enjoy the process, and I can't wait to see the finished product.
Me neither, this is going to be fun. Alright, back to the drawing board. Talk to you later.
Lesson 5: Planning the perfect vacation itinerary.
Hey Anna, I could use your help planning the itinerary for my upcoming trip. Any tips on making sure I hit all the must-see spots?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to lend a hand. Where exactly are you headed on this vacation?
I'm thinking of visiting a new city that I've never been to before. I want to make the most of my time there.
Wonderful. Researching the top tourist attractions in that destination will be key to crafting an engaging itinerary.
That's a great idea. What's the best way to go about finding the most popular and interesting sites to see?
Well, I'd start by doing some online research. Look up lists of the city's top attractions, as well as any renowned museums, landmarks, or historical sites.
Okay, that makes sense. Any other tips for compiling a well-rounded itinerary?
Definitely try to mix in a variety of activities: cultural, natural, culinary, etc. That way you get a well-rounded experience.
Good point. I don't want it to be too heavy on any one type of attraction.
Exactly. And be sure to leave some open space in the schedule too, for spontaneous exploration or downtime.
That's a great tip. I don't want to overpack the itinerary and end up feeling rushed.
Absolutely. Build in some flexibility so you can truly savor each experience without feeling pressed for time.
That's really smart. Any other must-dos as I'm putting this itinerary together?
Let me think. Oh, and don't forget to research any special events or festivals happening during your dates.
Ah yes, that's a fantastic point. Syncing up with local happenings could make the trip even more memorable.
Definitely. It adds an extra layer of authenticity and excitement to the visit.
I love that idea. Alright, this is all super helpful advice, Anna. I feel much more equipped to plan an amazing itinerary now.
Wonderful, I'm so glad I could provide some useful guidance. Just let me know if you need any other tips as you finalize the details.
Will do, thanks so much. Alright, time for me to dive into the research and get this trip planned out.
Sounds great, John. I can't wait to hear all about the incredible experiences you end up having on your vacation.
Me neither, I'm getting really excited about it. Alright, back to the planning process. Talk to you soon.
Lesson 6: Uncovering Hidden Gem Experiences.
Hey Anna, as I'm finalizing my travel itinerary, I'm hoping to uncover some hidden gem experiences in the city. Any tips on finding those off the beaten path spots?
Absolutely, that's exactly the kind of thing I can help you with. Uncovering those hidden gems is key to having an authentic, immersive trip.
Great, I'd really appreciate that. I want to go beyond just the standard tourist attractions and discover some more unique experiences.
Definitely. Well, one great place to start is by checking out local blogs, travel forums, and even social media for insider tips.
Ah, yes, that makes total sense. The locals will know all the secret spots that tourists often miss.
Exactly. They can point you toward quirky neighborhood cafes, lesser known museums, or eccentric cultural events.
That's a fantastic idea. I'll have to do some digging to find those kinds of hyperlocal recommendations.
Absolutely, and don't be afraid to venture out of the main tourist areas too. The most interesting discoveries are often in the quieter, residential neighborhoods.
Good point. I want to really immerse myself in the true character and culture of the city.
Definitely. And while you're out exploring, don't be shy about asking locals for their personal recommendations as well.
That's a great tip. The people who live there will know all the hidden gems that even the blogs might miss.
Precisely. Just striking up casual conversations can lead you to some really unique, special experiences.
I love that approach. Alright, this is all super helpful advice. I'm feeling inspired to do some deep dives into uncovering those hidden gems.
Wonderful. I'm so glad I could provide some useful guidance. Just let me know if you uncover any particularly amazing off the beaten path spots.
Absolutely, you'll be the first to know. This is going to make my trip so much more memorable and authentic.
I'm sure it will. Discovering those hidden gems is such a rewarding part of travel. I can't wait to hear all about your adventures.
Me neither, I'm really excited about it. Alright, time for me to start scouring the internet and talking to locals.
Sounds good, John. Happy hunting. I know you're going to uncover some truly special experiences.
I hope so. Alright, back to the research. Thanks again for all your help, Anna.
Lesson 7: Planning the perfect weekend getaway.
Hey Anna, I was thinking about going on a weekend trip soon. Do you have any suggestions for a great destination?
Ooh, a weekend getaway sounds lovely. Where were you thinking of going? I'd be happy to provide some recommendations.
That's just it, I'm open to ideas. I'd love to find somewhere relatively close by that has lots of fun things to do.
Okay. Well, what kind of vibe are you going for? A laid back, nature focused trip or something more urban and cosmopolitan?
That's a great question. I think I'm leaning more towards a relaxing, nature inspired getaway this time around.
Perfect, I've got just the place in mind then. Have you ever been to the countryside about an hour outside the city?
No, I haven't actually. What's it like out there?
It's absolutely gorgeous, rolling hills, quaint little towns, and tons of outdoor recreation opportunities.
Ooh, that does sound really appealing. What kind of activities are available in that area?
Well, there are several beautiful state parks with hiking trails, scenic overlooks, and even some waterfalls.
Waterfalls? That sounds amazing. I'd love to do some hiking and take in the natural scenery.
Absolutely, the hiking is fantastic. And the small towns have lots of charming, locally owned shops and restaurants to explore as well.
That's perfect. I love discovering those kinds of unique, local gems on a weekend trip.
Definitely. And the accommodations out there range from cozy B&Bs to modern glamping setups, so you've got options.
Glamping, huh? That could be a really fun, unique experience. I'm intrigued.
I think you'd love it. Get you out in nature, but with a few more creature comforts than traditional camping.
Yeah, that sounds right up my alley. Alright, you've definitely piqued my interest in this countryside getaway.
Wonderful. I'd be happy to send you some more specific recommendations on where to go and what to do once you decide to move forward with planning.
That would be amazing, Anna. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk this through with me.
Of course, I'm always happy to help plan a fabulous weekend trip. Just let me know if you need any other suggestions as you firm up the details.
Will do, thanks so much. Alright, time for me to start looking into booking this countryside escape.
Sounds good, John. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful and rejuvenating weekend getaway.
Me too, I'm really excited about it. Alright, back to the planning process. Talk to you soon.
Lesson 8: Sharing work challenges with a friend.
Morning, Anna. I was actually running late for work this morning. Did you have any trouble getting in on time today as well?
Oh, I see, that's no fun. What time did you end up leaving for the office, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I wanted to be there by 8 a.m., but I didn't end up walking out the door until around 8:15. Traffic was a nightmare too.
Yikes, that must have been a stressful commute. I can imagine arriving a bit late to the office wasn't ideal.
Definitely not. My boss is usually pretty understanding, but I still hate being tardy, you know?
Absolutely, I completely understand that feeling. Punctuality is so important, especially in a professional setting.
Exactly. Luckily, my boss was in a good mood today and didn't give me too hard of a time about it.
Well, that's good to hear at least. It's always a relief when your manager is willing to cut you a bit of slack in those situations.
For sure. I just try to make sure it's not a recurring issue, you know? Don't want to abuse that understanding.
Definitely not. Establishing a reputation for reliability and diligence is so crucial, especially early on in a job.
Absolutely. I really enjoy my work, so the last thing I want is for my boss to think I'm not taking it seriously.
I can imagine. It's all about maintaining that delicate balance between being a productive, dependable employee while also having an understanding manager.
Exactly. Luckily, my boss and I have a pretty good working relationship. But I still never want to test that too much.
That's great that you have that positive rapport already. It makes dealing with minor hiccups like this morning's tardiness much easier.
Definitely. I feel really fortunate in that regard. Alright, enough about my work drama. How has your day been going so far?
Oh, just the usual Monday hustle and bustle. Nothing too out of the ordinary on my end.
Well, that's good to hear. Mondays can be a bit of a slog sometimes, but it sounds like you're keeping on top of things.
For the most part, yes. Although I did have a small technical issue pop up that slowed me down for a bit this morning.
Oof, those can be the worst. I hate when unexpected little snags throw a wrench in the workday.
Absolutely. But thankfully, my IT team was quick to get it resolved, so I was back on track before too long.
Well, that's good, at least. Having a responsive support system in place is so crucial, especially for those types of hiccups.
Completely agree. Alright, I should probably get back to it. Let me know if you need anything else, John.
Will do, thanks, Anna. Enjoy the rest of your day, and try not to work too hard.
Haha, I'll do my best. Take care, and try to avoid any more traffic-related delays.
You got it. Alright, back to the grind for me. Chat with you soon.
Lesson 9, Navigating the Job Search Process.
Alright, I'll start searching for openings now. Do you have any other tips for ensuring a smooth job hunt process?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to share a few more pieces of advice. What exactly are you looking for in your next role?
Well, I'm hoping to find something in the marketing field that allows me to utilize my creative skills.
Okay, got it. In that case, I'd recommend tailoring your resume and cover letter for each specific job application.
Good call. I want to make sure I highlight the relevant experience and qualifications for each position.
Exactly. Customizing your materials shows the employer that you're a thoughtful, engaged candidate.
Makes sense. And what about the actual application process? Any tips there?
Definitely be diligent about following all the required steps. Don't skip any parts of the application.
Definitely, I don't want to risk being overlooked because I missed something in the submission.
Absolutely. And try to submit your materials as soon as possible after a job is posted. The early bird often catches the worm.
Good point. I'll have to stay on top of new listings and respond quickly. Any other advice on the application stage?
Let me think. Oh, and be sure to thoroughly research the company before your interview.
That's a great suggestion. I want to go in feeling knowledgeable about the organization and role.
Exactly. It shows you're truly interested and invested in the opportunity.
For sure. And what about the actual interview process? Any tips there?
Definitely practice answering common interview questions ahead of time. That will help you feel more confident.
Good call. I want to make sure I'm articulate and thoughtful in my responses.
Absolutely. And don't forget to prepare some insightful questions to ask the interviewer as well.
That's a really smart tip. I want to demonstrate my engagement and curiosity about the role.
Precisely. It's all about showing you're an enthusiastic, well-prepared candidate.
Love it. Alright, this is all super helpful advice, Anna. I feel much more equipped to navigate the job search now.
Wonderful, I'm so glad I could provide some useful guidance. Just let me know if any other questions come up along the way.
Will do, thanks so much. Alright, time for me to start scouring those job listings.
Sounds good, John. Wishing you the absolute best of luck in your job hunt.
Appreciate it, I'm really excited to get this process started. Alright, back to work.
Lesson 10, Exploring the Great Outdoors.
Hey Anna, that hiking trail you recommended sounds perfect. What other outdoor activities could I try in that area?
Well, the great thing about that park is the variety of options. Since the hiking trails are so well maintained, you could definitely do some mountain biking as well.
Ooh, mountain biking, that's a great idea. I haven't been on a bike in ages, but it would be a fun way to cover more ground.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic way to explore the scenic routes. And if you're feeling adventurous, they have some excellent rock climbing spots too.
Rock climbing, huh? Now that's taking it up a notch. I don't have much experience with that, but it could be a cool new challenge.
It's definitely a bit more intense, but the instructors there are super helpful in getting beginners set up safely. You'd be scaling some impressive cliffs.
That does sound exhilarating. What about water activities? Are there any lakes or rivers nearby for paddling?
Oh yes, there's a beautiful lake just a short drive from the trailhead. You could rent a kayak or canoe and get out on the water.
That sounds amazing, I love being out on the water. A peaceful kayak ride would be the perfect way to unwind.
Definitely, it's so serene and calming. Plus, you might even spot some cool wildlife if you keep an eye out.
Ooh, that's an added bonus. I'll have to bring my camera along then. What about any other unique experiences in the area?
Well, there's an awesome wildlife rehabilitation center nearby that does guided tours. You can get up close with all kinds of rescued animals.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. I'd love to learn more about the local wildlife and how they're being cared for.
It's a really cool educational experience. And they even have a petting zoo area where you can interact with some of the friendlier critters.
A petting zoo, huh? That could be a fun activity if I bring the nieces and nephews along for the trip.
Absolutely, the kids would get a kick out of that. Lots of hands-on learning opportunities in that park.
This is getting me even more excited to plan this outdoor adventure. So many cool things to explore.
I'm so glad to hear that. With all those options, you're bound to have an amazing time out in nature.
I can't wait. Okay, time for me to start mapping out the itinerary. Thanks for all the great recommendations, Anna.
Of course, happy to help. Let me know if you need any other tips as you finalize the plans.
Will do, appreciate it. Catch you later.
Lesson 11: Maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
Hey Anna, I've been trying to incorporate more fruits and veggies into my diet lately. Any tips on how to make that transition a little easier?
Good call, John. Boosting your fruit and veggie intake is such an important part of maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
Definitely. I know I need to get more of those nutritious foods, but sometimes it can be tough to make the switch.
I hear you. Well, one thing that's really helped me is to start small and make gradual changes.
That makes sense. Trying to overhaul my entire diet all at once could be a bit overwhelming.
Exactly. Maybe start by swapping out your afternoon snack for something like an apple or carrot sticks.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Little changes like that can add up over time without feeling too drastic.
Absolutely. And try to find ways to sneak more veggies into meals you already enjoy.
Like blending spinach or kale into a breakfast smoothie? That's a good tip.
Exactly. Or even just throwing some extra broccoli or peppers into your favorite pasta dish.
That sounds delicious. I like the idea of making it a seamless integration rather than a complete overhaul.
Precisely. And don't forget to stay hydrated throughout the day as well. That's so important for overall health.
Good point. I definitely need to be better about sipping on water consistently.
Definitely. Carry a reusable bottle with you and try to refill it regularly.
That's a great habit to get into. Alright, this is all really helpful advice, Anna. I feel inspired to start making some healthier changes.
Wonderful, I'm so glad I could provide some useful tips. Just take it one step at a time, and you'll be feeling great in no time.
For sure. Slow and steady progress is the way to go when it comes to lifestyle changes.
Absolutely. And remember, it's all about finding sustainable changes that work for your unique needs and preferences.
Great point. I don't want to set myself up for failure by trying to do too much at once.
Exactly. Progress over perfection, that's the key. You've got this, John.
Appreciate the encouragement, Anna. All right, time for me to put these healthy habits into practice.
Sounds good. Wishing you the very best of luck. Enjoy the journey to a healthier you.
Thanks, I'm really excited about it. All right, back to it. Chat with you soon.
Lesson 12: The Art of Effective Communication.
Hey Anna, I wanted to get your thoughts on the importance of effective communication skills. I think they're essential for success, don't you?
Absolutely, I completely agree. Developing strong communication abilities is so crucial, both personally and professionally.
Definitely. It helps us express our ideas clearly, build stronger relationships, and navigate all sorts of situations more effectively.
Exactly. Effective communication is the foundation for so many aspects of our lives and interactions.
Exactly. And I find that it's an area a lot of people really struggle with, even if they don't realize it.
That's a great point. Communication is something we often take for granted, but it requires intentional practice and refinement.
Definitely. Even small things like active listening and body language can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Being present and engaged when communicating, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak, is so important.
Completely agree. And being aware of the nonverbal cues you're sending is key as well.
For sure. Things like making eye contact, using open posture, and speaking with confidence can really elevate your communication.
Exactly. And the ability to adapt your communication style to different contexts is crucial too.
Definitely. Being able to communicate effectively with colleagues, clients, friends, and family all requires some nuance.
Precisely. You have to learn to be a bit of a chameleon in how you express yourself.
Absolutely. And don't forget the value of clear, concise writing skills as well. That's a huge part of communication.
Good point. Crafting well written emails, reports, and presentations is just as important as verbal communication.
Definitely. It's all about being able to convey your message in a way that's easily understood and impactful.
Exactly. All right, this has been a great discussion. I feel like I have a better appreciation for the power of effective communication.
Wonderful, I'm so glad I could help provide some insight. It's such a critical skill, and one that's worth continuously developing.
Completely agree. All right, time for me to put these communication principles into practice.
Sounds good, John. Wishing you the very best in honing those skills even further.
Thanks, I really appreciate the advice. All right, back to it.
Lesson 13: The Evolution of Tennis Equipment.
Remember the time when all the world's top players were using synthetic fiber rackets? That really changed the game, didn't it?
Oh, definitely, it was a game changer. The transition from traditional wooden rackets to those high-tech synthetic ones had a huge impact.
Absolutely. It seemed to really amplify the power and speed of the game, which didn't help matters for us amateur players.
No kidding. Trying to keep up with those pros smashing the ball at lightning speeds was tough enough.
Haha, tell me about it. I felt like I was always a step behind, no matter how hard I tried.
Same here. It was like the pros had this unfair advantage with their high-performance rackets.
Exactly. And of course, once the technology became more mainstream, it became an expectation rather than a luxury.
Definitely. Suddenly, the old wood rackets just didn't cut it anymore if you wanted to be competitive.
Totally. It forced a lot of casual players to upgrade their equipment, even if it was a bit of an investment.
For sure. But I suppose it just came with the evolution of the sport. Technology was bound to shape the game at some point.
Absolutely. And it's not like the pros were using anything illegal or against the rules. It was just the natural progression.
Right, exactly. It presented new challenges, but also opened up new possibilities in terms of skill and strategy.
Definitely. I mean, think about how much the game has changed since the wooden racket days. It's night and day.
Completely. The power, spin, and control that players can achieve with modern rackets is just mind-blowing.
No doubt. It's made tennis such a dynamic, fast-paced sport to watch and play.
Definitely. The equipment advancements have really elevated the athleticism and showmanship of the game.
Totally agree. It's been really fascinating to witness the evolution of tennis technology over the years.
Absolutely. It just goes to show how even small innovations can have a major impact on a sport.
For sure. Alright, I could go on all day about the history of tennis gear. But I should probably get back to my workout routine.
Yes, good idea. Enjoy your tennis practice, and let me know if you ever want to hit the courts together.
Absolutely, that would be a blast. Alright, back to it. Talk to you soon, Anna.
Lesson 14, Planning an Outdoor Adventure.
Great, so how much will the permits cost us for this camping trip?
Let me check the park's website for the specific permit fees. I want to make sure we factor that into our budget.
Good call. I know permits can really add up, so we'll need to account for that properly.
Absolutely. Here it is. Looks like the per person permit fee is $25 for the weekend.
Okay, not too bad. And how many people are we planning to have in our group again?
I believe it's just the four of us, you, me, Sarah, and Michael.
Got it, so that would be $100 total for the permits then.
Yep, that's right. We'll want to make sure to factor that into the overall trip costs.
For sure. Speaking of costs, have you had a chance to look into campsites and gear rentals?
Yes, I've been doing some research on that. Campsites in the park are about $50 per night.
Okay, not too bad. And what about gear? Do we need to rent anything or are we all set there?
Well, I have a decent backpack and sleeping bag, but we'd probably need to rent a tent and camp stove.
Good point. I think I have an old two-person tent we could use, but a camp stove rental would be smart.
That works. Okay, so permits, campsites, and a stove rental, we're really starting to pull this whole trip together.
Definitely. I'm getting excited to get out in nature for the weekend. It's been too long since our last camping adventure.
I know, me too. It'll be so nice to unplug and disconnect for a bit. Perfect timing before the busy holiday season.
Absolutely. Alright, let's see. I think that covers all the major logistics. Is there anything else we should be thinking about?
Let's see. Oh, we'll definitely want to make sure we pack plenty of snacks and meals to keep us fueled.
Good call. I can take care of that part. Maybe we can do a mix of pre-made and some easy camp cooking.
Sounds perfect. Okay, I think we're really starting to nail down all the key details here.
Wonderful. This is getting me even more pumped for our little weekend getaway.
Me too, it's going to be so much fun. Alright, I'll keep researching a few more things, but this is a great start.
Sounds good. I really appreciate you taking the lead on all the planning, Anna.
Of course, happy to do it. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Absolutely. Alright, I'll let you get back to it. I'm going to start prepping my gear.
Lesson 15, Dealing with Flight Delays.
Hey Anna, I just got an email that my flight is delayed by 2 hours. Oh no, what should I do during the long wait?
Oh no, that's such a bummer to hear about the flight delay. But don't worry, there are a few things you can do to make the most of that extra time.
You're right, I shouldn't let it ruin my day. What kind of suggestions do you have for passing the time productively?
Well, first and foremost, I'd recommend finding a comfortable spot in the airport to set up camp. Maybe grab a cozy seat by a power outlet so you can keep your devices charged.
Good call, I'll need to make sure my phone and laptop are fully juiced up. And then what?
Well, you could use the extra time to get some work done if you need to. Or if you're looking to relax, you could read a book or listen to a podcast.
Those are both great ideas. I've been meaning to catch up on some reading, so this is the perfect opportunity.
Exactly. And if you need a break from screen time, you could always explore the airport a bit. Grab a snack, browse the shops, or people watch.
Ooh, I like that plan. A little airport adventure might help break up the time. And I'm sure I could find a tasty bite to eat as well.
Definitely. Just be sure to keep an eye on your departure gate so you don't miss any announcements.
Good point, I'll have to set some alarms or reminders on my phone. Don't want to get too distracted and miss my flight.
Absolutely. And if you start feeling really antsy, you could even look into getting a day pass for the airport lounge.
That's an interesting idea. A little oasis of comfort and amenities might be just the ticket.
Exactly. It could be a nice way to relax and recharge during the long layover.
I like the sound of that. Alright, this has given me some great ideas to stay productive and sane during the delay.
Wonderful. I'm glad I could provide some helpful suggestions. Just try to stay positive and make the most of the extra time.
Will do, thanks so much for the advice. I feel much better about this unexpected flight hiccup now.
Of course, happy to help. Wishing you the smoothest possible travel experience from here on out.
Appreciate it, Anna. Alright, time for me to put these delay busting tactics into action.
Sounds good, enjoy the rest of your day. Safe travels.
Will do, chat with you soon.
Lesson 16, Navigating the Airport with Ease.
Hey Anna, I'm a little stressed about having to navigate this huge airport during my layover. Do you have any tips to help me get around with ease?
Don't worry, John. Airports can be overwhelming, but there are plenty of resources to help you find your way. First and foremost, don't be afraid to ask for directions.
Good point. I'm usually not one to stop and ask for help, but in an airport, it's probably the best way to get where I need to go.
Absolutely. The information desks throughout the terminals are there for a reason. The staff can provide invaluable guidance.
That's true, I should take advantage of those. And I'm guessing the airport maps and signage are pretty comprehensive as well.
Definitely. Most major airports have excellent wayfinding systems, with clear signs directing you to gates, baggage claim, restaurants, and more.
Okay, that's really good to know. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for those directional signs as I'm walking around.
And don't forget, you can always pull up the airport's website or app on your phone. They usually have interactive maps and real-time updates.
Ah, yes, that's a great idea. I'll make sure to download the app before my flight so I have it handy during my layover.
Exactly. The technology these days can be so helpful in navigating unfamiliar airports. Just don't forget to keep an eye on your departure gate.
Good call. I'll set some reminders on my phone so I don't lose track of time and miss my next flight.
Smart move. And if you do find yourself turned around or unsure of where to go, just ask one of the airport staff. They're there to help.
You're right, no need to be shy about it. I'd rather swallow my pride than end up lost in the terminal.